Okay, so today we're diving deep into a story from Reddit's r/Let's Not Meet forum, which, if you don't know, is a place for some seriously unsettling true encounters. And this story, this isn't just about a creepy house guest. It's basically a real-life horror movie that happens exactly where you're supposed to feel the most safe. So, yeah, let's get right into it. And before we even unpack the story, just look at this comment from another user. This is bone chilling. I mean, that really says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures how this story hits you. This isn't some made-up tale, it's what a real person went through, and the community's reaction tells you everything you need to know about how deeply this one gets under your skin. So the story comes from a Reddit user named Demetia Donnells, and it hits on one of our most, primal fears, having your home violated. Just try to imagine this for a second. For months, without you having any idea, someone has been living in your house, hiding in your basement. So the first question that pops into your head is obvious, right? Who was this guy? Some random stranger who just broke in? And listen, as terrifying as that sounds, the truth here is actually so much worse. And there it is, the first big twist, straight from the person who lived it. It wasn't a stranger at all. It was someone they knew, a guy from right downstairs. And that sense of familiarity, well, that just adds this whole new, chilling layer of betrayal to the fear. And this is where the story gets even weirder, because the family actually knew this guy was a problem. In fact, they thought they had already handled it. They thought he was long gone. See, the original poster explains that he was crashing on their neighbor's couch, and they did exactly what you or I would do. They went to him, they confronted him, and they told him, politely but firmly, that he needed to leave the property. They set a very clear boundary. So let's just walk through how this all played out. Step 1, the family tells him to get lost. Step 2, he vanishes. And for months, they don't see a trace of him. They figure, okay, problem solved, we can relax now. But then comes step 3, which is where the horrifying reality sets in. And boom, there's the gut punch. He never left. He just relocated from the neighbor's couch into their own home, hiding out in their basement. Think about that. All those months they felt safe, he was literally right there, right beneath their feet. Okay, so now we get to the moment of discovery. I mean, finding a person living in your basement is already terrifying enough. But what this family found with him is what took this story from just plain scary to absolute nightmare fuel. Now, the post doesn't go into the nitty-gritty of exactly how they found him, but we know it happened. After months and months of living with this threat they had no idea was there, that false sense of peace was just completely shattered the second they opened that basement door. But you see, just finding him, that wasn't the end of it. As terrifying as that moment must have been, it was really only the beginning of the true nightmare. It really makes you wonder, right? What was he doing down there? What was his endgame? Well, the answer, or at least a really disturbing clue, was right there on his phone. And this is the detail that made everyone's stomach drop. He wasn't just hiding, he was actively watching them. He was sneaking into their rooms while they slept, when they were at their most vulnerable, and he was taking pictures. And the original poster says it right here. As awful as the whole secret living situation was, finding those photos was, quote, the most disturbing part of all of it. Because that changed everything. This wasn't just some squatter trying to find a place to stay. This was a predator. So the man is finally gone, but the story is far from over. Now we have to talk about the aftermath. The psychological damage. How do you ever feel safe again in your own home after something like this happens? The short answer is you probably don't. Not for a very long time. Let's just quickly recap the facts here, because it's a lot. A man they knew, who they thought was gone, was secretly living in their house for months. He watched them sleep, and he took pictures of them. When you just lay it all out like that, the horror of it is it's overwhelming. And this really gets to the core of the trauma. It's the what ifs. What was he planning to do with those pictures? What was the next step he was going to take? You see, without the pictures, this is a scary story about a squatter. With the pictures, it's something infinitely more sinister that haunts you forever. And the Reddit comments really say it all. Nightmare fuel. Nope. They all point back to the same universal fears we all have: your safe space being invaded, your privacy being completely and totally violated, and that chilling, terrifying uncertainty of what this person was planning to do next. And that's really the thought this story leaves you with, isn't it? We all think of our home as our sanctuary, the one place in the world where we're truly safe. But this story is a chilling reminder to ask yourself, how well do you really know every single corner of your own home?